Hey guys,
Oh,
and welcome to Quality Shot. If you haven't already, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the vids. Thank you very much. Okay, I've got with me Venu, and we're going to discuss Sri Lanka versus South Africa day one. And I have to say, Venu, you must be a pretty happy chappy after that first day.
yeah, it was a good day. It was it was like watching Sri Lanka of old. It was quite surprising actually. Um, yeah, brought back old memories of Sangakkara and Joe Wardner playing really well. It's just yeah, it was good to watch. It was
Yeah,
long
I think,
long overdue, I think. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. It's been a while since Sri Lanka last played international match
yeah,
since
March.
March.
Yeah,
Considering they haven't played since March, that's good performance from them. So they'll be really pleased with that.
yeah, 100%. I mean, what really sticks out to me when you look at the scorecard is that every single batsman had a strike rate over 50. Um, and I think the brand of cricket that Sri Lanka played I think, in this first day was really impressive. To get to 340 even for six at the end of the day, I think shows the intent from Sri Lanka. And the fact that the captain, who normally scores very slowly, got out for 22 of 20, kind of shows maybe the type of intent they came in with. Because obviously he's not seen as someone who's particularly aggressive. Eventually, kind of fell to Ngidi bowled, but I think him and Kusal Pereira tried to set the tone. Obviously, look, once they've fallen though, Venu, so that top three, we kind of talked about that being quite important for them. Obviously, didn't get the runs they would have liked. Kanaratne 22, Kusapera 16, and Mendes 12. So I guess at 54 for three off 10 overs, what are you thinking as a Sri Lanka fan? Are you thinking we're in a bit of a spot of bother here?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I thought yeah, definitely a spot above her, and yeah, just didn't think the middle order will rescue Sri Lanka and get them to a respectable score. But I was proven wrong.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Chandimal and Dhananjaya De Silva came in, and what a partnership! 131 runs from that, and only ended just because Dhananjaya De Silva got retired hurt, hip injury, as Venu rightly pointed out to me earlier. And uh, Chandimal looked good, 85 of 161 in the end, fell to Mulder, who we'll touch upon. But Dhananjaya De Silva, for me, was the pick, even though he only scored 79 but off only 106 deliveries, strike rate of 74. And for me, I mean, some of his on drives, I was telling you, Benny, earlier on, just really, really quality, full face of the bat, just pure timing. And for me, he really stood out as being quality. Chandimal is very, very good as well. I just think in terms of stroke play and how effortless he made it look, I thought he looked very good. So I thought it was pretty unfortunate that he got injured, and hopefully he can come back in day two and get some runs. What do you think of that partnership?
Yeah, it was a very important partnership for Sri Lanka. They're putting over 100, as you said, 130 odd, and yeah, just brought back memories of Sri Lanka of old, where the middle order will come and get a bulk load of runs, and they just made it look simple. Chandamal and Silva looked very simple. Anything, they they left well outside of stump, I thought, and they also punished the bad balls as well. So anything that was wide, they lashed onto. And as you said, watching Dhananjaya De Silva's on drives was excellent, really, and yeah, it was great to watch. And it was a shame that he was had to retire hurt, and hopefully he does play a further part in a Test match. But it was really nice to watch.
Yeah, 100%. I think obviously without Angelo Matthews because he's injured, so normally at five that's who you have, Angelo
Exactly. Yeah.
Matthews. So Daniel De Silva did really well at five, I thought, and Dick Weller came in, did really well, 49 off 86 as well. A good little knock from him. Probably very disappointed to get out before he got his 50. Look, I mean, to be honest with you, you go through the scorecard. I mean, Dasun Shanaka's still in, 25 not out, and they've got Rajitha in at 7 not out. Um, Hasaranga, obviously the leg spinner. I didn't realise, but he's got an average of 42 in first class cricket, so he can clearly bat, and he did show that for the short time he was in. 18 off 20 for him, scoring quite freely, but got out a very strange way. Kind of tried to tried to kind of back foot drive to Pamela and just got an inside edge, just got caught on the crease. It was a bit of a weird one. and inside edge onto his stumps. Okay, let's just briefly touch upon. Actually, no. Before we do that, what do you think of? So obviously, it's a very impressive total for Sri Lanka going into day two. They're surely looking to push to above 400, right, Vinny?
Yeah, fingers crossed. And if they do that, they will it will be their highest ever score in South Africa. I think 342 is their record, so they're looking to beat that. So they'll be impressed with that. But hopefully they can get 400 plus tomorrow. I think South Africa do have a newish ball, so yeah. So hopefully Shanaka and Rajiva can bat a bit and also bat freely as well, like they've done today, and hopefully get that over 400, and they'll be in the driving seat for the Test match.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the run rate is 4 and over, which you don't normally see in a test match after a day. So just shows how well I thought they batted. I don't think it was a road really. It was a decent batting track, but there was a hint of swing in the air. And I thought, look, um, the ground they're playing on in Centurion, it's always got that bit of extra bounce, which I think you saw throughout the whole day as well. They not too much seam movement, but there was a little bit of jag towards the end as well. Onto the bowling then, very briefly. Look, I mean, it's a weird one because Ngidi opened up with Sapamla, who was making his Test debut. Sapamla got smashed in his first spell. I mean, he went for a load of runs. I think he was going at like 7, 8 and over at least in that first spell. Managed to put it back a little bit towards the end, but economy of 4.86 would be really disappointed with that. Um, but for me, the pick of the bowlers was Mulder. Uh, not express, not at all. Bowling at 130 Ks. So we're talking, you know, kind of early 80s, late 70s. Well, probably early 80 mile per hour mark. 3 wickets for him though. Uh, what do you think of him? Because obviously coming in, it's not his debut. He's played a couple of matches previously, but he's still relatively inexperienced. And you would have thought Nautier on this type of track would get a lot of wickets, but the Sri Lankan batsmen weren't scared of him at all, to be honest. And I think that shows in the run rate. But what do you think of Mulder, very briefly?
Yeah, I thought he looked very impressive considering he's quite early on in his Test career, and we also have to mention Bizan that he got the key wicket of Chandimal, and also the key wicket of Dikwela as well. So yeah, he got out the set batsman there, and those batsmen were probably looking on to get a big score. So he got the key wickets there and kind of reined back the momentum from Sri Lanka, because it could have been a lot worse if it wasn't for those vital breakthroughs by Mulder.
Yeah, 100%. I think South Africa also need to be a bit careful about how they use Nortje because obviously he's got that pace and he did get it up to 92, 93, 94 miles an hour in his spells. But look, I mean, we know how good he can be running in, but as we said previously, these types of fast balls you need to use in bursts. I think we've got to be careful when doing that with him as well. Uh, look, I mean, he did bowl quite well, but I think they'll be disappointed South Africa not to restrict them to less than that, and also not get some more wickets. I know they got some wickets late on. There's a little bit of a kind of not a swing, but I think you're thinking about Sri Lanka and South Africa, and it was way in favour of Sri Lanka. And then towards the end, they picked up a couple of wickets, as you said. Mulder got a couple, and then Pamela got one as well. So they got those 3 wickets late on in that third session, or final session even. But I mean, Sri Lanka very firmly in the driving seat, really, going into day two. So I think it's looking pretty good for them, 100%. What do you think we're going to see in day two? Do you think we're going to see, as you said, Sri Lanka push to that 400 plus mark and then really try and pressure South Africa straight away, especially with Markram and Elgar to open up because Markram is not in particularly good form, as we've said.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Agree with what you said, Pizan. I think Sri Lanka will hopefully bat just like they did today. Hopefully get the runs, make it, make the runs flow, and hopefully get 400 plus within the first hour or so of the play, or maybe hour and a half. They get to 400 plus. I'm sure the tail will wag a bit as well. And yeah, I'm sure we'll see South Africa batting by lunchtime tomorrow. and yeah, Sri Lanka will be looking to get the key wickets of Elgar in particular, and Faf du Plessis early on. So I think they just want to get South Africa out cheaply tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it because Sri Lanka have got some good bowling options in terms of the pace attack. Some good bowlers there to look forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. I think I said this to you, and I'm still of the opinion that Sri Lanka kind of the strongest position out of the six teams who are playing on Boxing Day, in my opinion. I think just because, and you look, let's be honest. I mean, even you'll agree that I don't think you would have thought that after day one that Sri Lanka would have been, the strongest position out of the six teams. Um, but
Yeah, that's true.
the fact is that they've applied themselves really well here, I think, and yeah, just very, very impressive, I think, for me. And just the tempo and intent, I think, is the biggest thing. And as I said, there's a little bit of fearlessness about the way that they were playing, and they weren't. They just didn't seem particularly bothered, and I do think that is also to do with the bowling attack of South Africa to a degree because you don't have any more Morne, Morkel, Dale Steyn, Vernon Philander. That's what you used to have before for South Africa, and obviously Jack Callis and whoever else. But now they've got Ngidi and Sapamla, who's making making his debut. Nortje, obviously, but these guys even then have only played 6 or 7 Test matches, so they're very green. And Maharaj is not too effective on these type of wickets, so yeah, they've got a lot to work through. I think it's going to be a tough Test match, and I think Sri Lanka will be looking to really, yeah, as you said, kind of push forward and make sure that they continue to be in the driving seat here. So I think exciting times as for a Sri Lankan fan for sure. Um, Anything else you want to touch before we wrap up?
No, just it was an impressive performance from Sri Lanka, considering they haven't played since March, and yeah, fair play to them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the fact they haven't played since March just makes it even more impressive, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Considering the amount of cricket that South Africa have played since March, they've played a fair bit. So yeah, I just think it's definitely a surprising day to a degree, but very well played, Sri Lanka, and for me, team of the day for sure. Okay, thanks very much, guys, for tuning in, and thanks Venu again for being
no
on.
problem.
Stay safe, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much.